Hey besties, so today I'm back with the third episode of what we read in a month, and today I'm showing you guys what we read in August, and I'm doing it a bit different, so you're not going to be seeing my face, but yes, you'll be hearing my voice. So let's go ahead and get on started. August was a very interesting month. Kayla Bunny turned 4 years old. She is quite convinced she's a princess, which I do not blame her because yes, homegirl is a princess. So we read quite a number of books which all drove it home for her, especially on the princess side of life, and of course on some other things which I'm going to tell you guys now in a bit. First up, it is this princess book right over here, and it just says every girl is a princess, and this is by Milo Freeman, and yes, it totally reminded me of Morgan Freeman, and if you know me, you know I'm a big Morgan Freeman fan. So essentially what's happening in this book is there are many different princesses. They all have different crowns, and on their crowns they all have like different, I want to say, symbol. So others come with a heart, and others with a flower or a rose, and others with a star, and they're each for a different princess. But at the very end of the book is this little mirror right here, which obviously will show a picture of your little girl when they see themselves in a mirror and their crown over there, which essentially says every girl is a princess. So I really like this book because it's kind of also very interactive. It'll tell you here, Princess Ushi, she loves the way fish swim, and on her crown there are pearls. So it'll ask you, could this be her crown, like this right here? And as you can tell, there are no pearls on this crown, so you'd have to flip up this little small page over here, and then you'd see her crown right over here with pearls. And then the second book that we have totally been loving is this one right here, and it says Princess Arabella Goes to School, again by Milo Freeman. And this one is exactly what it says. This is Princess Arabella right over here, and she is going to school the next morning. Her parents are trying to get her to settle down for bed, but she can barely sleep because all she's thinking about is that she's going to school the next day. She's very excited. She gets to school, she makes friends. She literally let go of her parents' hands so quickly and ran into class as fast as she could. But when it came time to actually start learning maths, she wasn't quite impressed with school. And then teacher came up with this awesome idea of letting them come to school with pets, and she brought her elephant, and teacher asked her what's better than bringing one elephant to school, and she said two, which in a way kind of got her introduced to maths, and she quite understood it in a more playful manner instead of the serious way, which I thought was really great. Because how many times have you tried to teach kids something that they didn't quite get until you actually made it look more relatable to them, and they actually quite got it. The next book that we have totally been loving is this one, again for Princess Arabella, or about Princess Arabella, and this one is Princess Arabella and the Giant Cake, again by Milo Freeman. Seriously, I think I'm starting to get really hooked into Milo Freeman's books. They're really interesting, and they make real life look very fun and very easy, if that makes any sense. Like, she writes in a playful manner, which I think kids relate to so easily. I've watched KB relate to these books and talk about them like it's really nothing, seriously. So anyway, in this book, Princess Arabella just had her birthday party, but she wants to have another one. I swear KB turned 4, about a week ago, and though we didn't have a birthday party for her, we did celebrate with like family. There was about 6-7 people here, and her best friend as well. And she's already asking me when her birthday is, and I keep telling her, you have to wait another year, sweetie, before another birthday. And that's exactly what Princess Arabella is going through. She wants another birthday party, but you know, her dad is explaining to her that you have to wait another year before your birthday party. But there is, lucky for her, somebody who's about to have a birthday in their house, and that is her grandmother. Her friends also want to do something amazing for her grandmother, so they all went home and they all each baked a cake. Princess Arabella's cake was the giant one, and then the 3 friends' cakes were pretty small, but the friends came together and talked about it, discussed it for a moment, and they decided to actually stack their cakes up. They ended up having another huge cake, which was almost as big as Princess Arabella's cake. It teaches kids that you really don't have to hold grudges. You can all have fun at the end of the day. And yes, just because you have something amazing doesn't mean your friends can't have it either. They all had fun at the end of the day, which I really liked. And yes, K-Bear is begging me for a bigger cake, which ain't gonna happen. The next book that we have been loving, that we read quite a bit, is actually this one. Is called Chocolate Me, and this one I hold quite dearly to my heart because we live in a time in society now where so many things happen, and a lot of kids are actually self-conscious because of the way they look or the color of their skin or anything that may look different from their friends or anything that may look different or may stand out on them, and they end up getting teased about. So this book I really love, you guys. I cannot even begin to tell you how much. This is a book by, am I gonna pronounce this right? Tay Diggs, but it's illustrated by Shane W. Evans. So essentially what's happening, look at those cupcakes, you guys. Hungry. So as you can tell, this little boy right here is obviously black. His hair is very brown. He has a bigger nose, even though you can't see. It's not one of those pointy, cute little butt noses. And all of her friends are actually white, and he is constantly feeling left out, and they're constantly teasing him about his hair not feeling or looking soft and straight, and they're pointing at his nose that it's big and it's wide, and he's feeling really seriously insecure. He's asking his mom why he's looking different, why can't he have straight hair, how come he doesn't look like his friends Timmy, Johnny and Mark, and why can't he just be white with straight hair. She explained to him in the most easiest way he could understand, and she used the analogy that his skin is actually like velvet fudge frosting, which was chocolate flavored. I don't know if you can see the spoon right here, has chocolate in it, and she talked to him about his hair, how it can be braided like corn, like, you know, cornrows, and she basically just made him feel loved, and she got him to actually accept himself for who he is. And he started to realize it all, and he started to think about his face, his nose, his afro, and you know what? He was actually pretty happy with it. And when he started accepting himself more and actually being content with the color of his skin and who he is, his friends also actually accepted him, and they stopped teasing him, and they all were happy at the end of the day, which I thought really drove the meaning home. Like, yes, we all look different, and yes, we're not all of the same race and all of the same nation and all of that jazz, but at the end of the day, we're all people and we can all love each other, but that love has to come from within. If you don't love yourself enough, seriously, nobody can come along and show you what love looks like. You know what? There was one point where K-Bear actually asked me why her hair doesn't look like her friend's hair, and I had to explain to her, and I kind of talked her through it, and even though she didn't quite get it at the time, you could just see on her face. Once we read this book, I think it drove it home to her, and she's now very content. She's actually very happy. She's always loved her hair, like, don't get me wrong, but there was that one brief moment where she asked me how come her hair doesn't look like her friend's hair. But yeah, after reading this book, I'm telling you, we're all on the same WhatsApp group, same page. The last book that we have been reading, which I also really love, is this one, and it's called The Lion Inside, and this one is by Rachel Bright and Jim Field. So this book right here is about a tiny little mouse who lives under the rocks. Poor little thing is feeling meek and weak and tiny, and like nobody can help him, no friends, none whatsoever, because everybody's big and he's all the way down there on the ground. They step on him, nobody notices him, they always ignore him. And then one day he decided that he actually wants to feel important. He wanted to be like that lion on top of the rocks, looking also glorious and also respected. So he braved it out, went all the way up to the top of those rocks to go talk to the lion. But an interesting turn of events actually occurred, and as it turned out, the lion was actually terrified of the tiny little mouse. So the mouse ended up actually being the one in power and actually being the one having to explain to the lion that actually, no, I come in peace. I'm here to ask you to teach me how to roar like you roar and how to voice my opinions and how to be heard. And they both ended up being very, very good friends. And although he wasn't actually able to like roar like a lion, he was actually able to voice his opinions and he was actually heard. He stood his ground and he wasn't food for the lion, which was fantastic. And this book right here is all about bravery and more so being able to voice your opinions. Use your voice. I always tell K-Bear, she always goes through this thing where she will cry and throw fits and throw herself on the ground, and we always just look at her like throwing tantrums and throwing fits doesn't help, girl. You have to tell us what's wrong so that we can understand you. Remember, you have a voice. Speak to mom or speak to dad or speak to both of us together and tell us what you want. And I feel like this book right here actually got her to do it. And that is basically all that we read. I swear, you guys, we go through so many books in a month. It's not even funny. Some of them you already know from the previous months, but these are all new. And again, this is in collaboration with Pan Macmillan SA. If you guys don't know what Pan Macmillan SA is, I'm gonna leave their link in the description box down below. I suggest you go ahead and check it out. All of their books are age appropriate, so every single book that you see here is for 3 years upwards, which means it's exactly for K Bunny. It's long enough for her to comprehend it, and it's not too long that she's gonna lose focus. So we're able to go through a book without her dozing off or her losing concentration or anything like that, which is amazing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And of course, follow us on our social media. Links are all down below: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All links in the description box. And until then, I will catch you besties tomorrow. Bye, besties.